So I, of course, went to the United Kingdom rally on Saturday because of Elon Musk overrunning. I didn't get to speak, so I had to go and stand on the stage and just wave at the end of it, which, okay, thanks, Elon. You can come on my podcast as a sorry, if you like. But no, jokes aside, it's totally fine. If Elon unscheduled calls in for 20 minutes, you've got to kind of let it happen.
Yeah.
And they're freaking out in the mainstream about it as well, so...
Well, because they had to cover it now.
Well, exactly. They've got no choice, right?
Yeah.
So now they've got to be like, oh, there's only 100,000 people. It's like, bollocks, was it? I was there.
Have you noticed that number has actually kept increasing?
I have. It was 100,000, 110, 150.
At first it was 80.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they really underreported it. And then
80.
it was like going up and up and up and up. And you're like, come on now.
It's so obvious from the drone footage. It's well beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to give a realistic evaluation, I would say somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million. Which, I see a lot of people on our site saying 3 million. I don't think it was that much.
No.
But 500,000 to 1 million, I think, is very, very reasonable. And there were, obviously, it was mostly English people. It was a very, very, the very large core of it is a nativist movement. But it's not a hostile movement. And I think that's the important thing, because there were obviously lots of, non-English people there. There were some Welsh there. There's some Scots there, even some Irish there. Which you think, are we allowing that? No, I'm joking, obviously. More than welcome, guys. But there were lots of people from everywhere who are just sympathetic to us, who just like the English and are sympathetic to our cause and want to be part of the movement, the fight back. And so you get videos like this. This lady, obviously African in some shape or form, and she just explains why this is happening.
I went to the Tommy Robinson protest on September 13th and it was fine. I also went alone as well. I met my friend 2 hours later in central London, but I was by myself and I went straight to the belly of the beast and I saw nothing but peaceful people, respectful people. I was even interviewing them. I asked them in my last TikTok. They're actually good people and I knew I shouldn't have been afraid. I was never ever going to be afraid because I grew up with English people. I grew up with white people and they've been nothing but polite, respectful. That's their culture, Politeness, Britishness, The issue is a lot of minority cultures for them have become the predominant culture in areas of the UK like London, Liverpool, Manchester, Luton, to the point that these towns and cities become unrecognisable. And British people flee because they no longer feel a sense of connection or identity to these towns and cities. You wouldn't want to lose what it means to be black. We all love our culture and our ethnicity, and it's the same for white people. They love what it means to be English and they're allowed to love that.
She gets it.
That's exactly it. She 100% got it, and that's why I shared it. Because a lot of people like to share minorities being like, "Oh, I went to the protest because they're minorities," and they're like, "See, we're not racist." Like, look, stop arguing that point, guys. Yeah. I don't give a damn if they think we're racist. I shared that because she understands the truth of what it is that we're actually doing here. No, it's not about foreign people. Actually, it's about ourselves and actually what we are losing and the patrimony we're handing away that we can't hand on to our children.
Yeah.
Another person who truly got it was Trevor Phillips, who has been basically in defense mode since the march. Now, Sky did put out his monologue.
Did.
And they were like, what was scary about it? It was surprisingly normal.
But then they deleted it.
Then they deleted it and reposted it, saying with something like far right rally, blah, blah, blah. But Trevor gives an excellent monologue and points out, essentially, these were just normal people who went. These are not just like Tommy Robinson's personal sort of cult of personality is not this big. This is something that was genuinely happening, probably on the back of the flagging movement, where it's like, actually, no, I understand that Pericles' dictum is correct. You might not care about politics, but politics cares about you. And politics has come for us now, and now we have to start.
Well, I couldn't believe it the other day. My sister stopped round and she said, "Oh, are you going to the Tommy thing?" And I was quite surprised because I've never heard her utter a word of politics before. Yeah. And then she went on to say, "Oh, I hope it's a really good showing." And it's like, "What? You're saying this?"
Yeah, it's like Pete's mum. It's like, "I'm going to go to the Tommy thing." It's like, "But what? You're not political. How do you know about it?"
Yeah.
But that's the point. Like the flag thing, I think it's just word of mouth. It's gone viral, and it's becoming right. This is something how we authentically can stand up for ourselves, because this isn't controlled by an institution. It's not something that's hemmed in by all of these, progressive, nitpick rules or anything like that. No, this is just we ourselves authentically. And Trevor went down there and he was like, yeah, it was completely normal. And it's being misrepresented by the media. Of course it is. And he said, basically ignore it at your peril, dismiss it at your peril, which is true because, again, if you can get 1 million people out in the streets, that's going to start translating into votes next time an election comes around.
Well, and also, it's not just the people that you see. It's all of the people that supported it and are sympathetic to it,
Millions
but
watching
didn't turn
online.
up.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people. It takes a lot to move British people. Like English people don't really like to do these things. It's not something which we generally do.
We're not French.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But the crossover is huge. Like the amount of people that have just been sat at home.
For every person who went, there's going to be half a dozen who are very sympathetic and just couldn't go for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, no, absolutely. And then you had millions watching online. And so this was a gargantuan event that just couldn't be stopped and couldn't be ignored. And the thing is, the left know they got trounced, right? So you get, this is just like a very small left-wing podcast, but because they're not part of the mainstream establishment, they can just be like, yeah, we just got nailed.
Yeah, they can tell the truth still.
Exactly. They're allowed to be like, okay, guys, why did we get hammered here? Tommy's side was around 1 million, ours 10,000. I mean, I don't think they had 10,000 there, to be honest. I would have said about 5,000. Yeah.
I had Narendra.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, when I was there, I was at the back of the stage near the bars, and you got the sort of sanitary area, and then you've got them on the other side, and I'm being interviewed, and I can hear Narendra through the thing. I was like, oh. You're right, Narendra. Not trying to be mean. I could just hear you, that's all. But anyway, the point is, they knew they got crushed. And the thing is, they got crushed so hard that their protest was engulfed in our protest. Yeah. That's why there was like conflicts. Because normally the police are incredibly good at keeping these things apart. Yeah. So there's never been any problems in any of the other ones. It's just that our guys were filling everything around. And so we had them kettled. And normally they only turn up for like an hour and a half, and then they just bugger off, right? And so by the end of the day, when ours is breaking up and we're all going home, we can't see any of them because they left hours ago. But they didn't have that option this time. They had to stay there for our entire day because they just couldn't get out. Anyway, the point being, they know they got crushed. And this is actually a really interesting podcast. I'm going to cover it on a podcast with Arch on Thursday. But anyway, so then you start getting the responses. And they are coping and seething. They're not even hiding behind the mask with the tears flowing down the face. They're just upset. I mean, look at Nick Clegg here. Musk is supporting the AfD. Now they're inserting themselves into British politics. Tommy Robinson fawns over Musk. Farage fawns over Trump. They're seeking to turn this country into little MAGA Britain. I mean, that sounds like it might be better than what we've got.
Tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And still, Farage is closer to Nick Clegg than Farage is to me.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Even then, Farage agrees more with Nick Clegg than you. Yeah. And so he complains. But it's like, okay, but I would have more sympathy for that if our politics wasn't entirely dominated with foreign issues. Yeah. Sorry. Are we going to Ukraine? Are we going to give money to Ukraine? Yeah. Yes, we're going to give... Mate, Gaza, Israel. Yeah. Oh, shut up.
Let's build an airport in Pakistan.
Yeah.
UK taxpayers' money.
God, I was so sick of it. And so I'm just so unsympathetic to this, like, oh, well, it's foreign interference. I just buggered that tab up. It's foreign interference. I'm so unsympathetic to that position because that's all we hear is just foreigners. You know, and if it's not foreigners overseas, it's foreigners here. Oh, what about the migrants? What about refugees? What about racism? What about xenophobia? What about Islamophobia? No, I don't care.
The High Court finding that the interests of people who came on boats trumps the interests of the local people.
The deportations that were meant to happen today, that they got delayed or whatever, because apparently charities are going to start making legal appeals against them. And it's like, okay, you know. And then they're like, Elon Musk is interfering in our politics. Elon Musk is ethnically English.
Yeah.
Like, Elon Musk has genetic continuity with Britain. You know, so sorry, he's a lot closer to us than any of these people are. And yet they're like, oh, this is foreign interference. And then you had many things like this. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting for me, right? So this is a lady called Ranveer, I believe, who was on Good Morning Britain saying how, just don't feel safe anymore. Just don't feel safe. In fact, should we watch some of it? Because it's bloody insufferable. Probably get a copyright strike, but we'll watch some of it.
Our Ranveer, you were on your way into London, weren't you, on Saturday?
Yes.
And you met somebody who was going on that march.
Yes, it was really interesting. I changed my plans, which actually made me sad because I think, well, I should be allowed to go into London and feel safe. I live here, this is my place. But I didn't. I didn't take my son in. That made me sad. The fact that you think, oh, it's not safe for my little brown boy to be in London is a sad thing. But there you go.
So you mean you think you weren't safe because of the colour of his skin?
I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't want him to be exposed to anything at Euston Station, and there was a lot of people there when we got there. Actually, it was interesting. At my local station, I was just queuing up to get a coffee, and the man in front of me was getting coffee from the guy who I think is Sri Lankan at the station. We all know him; he's been there for years. And lovely, really jolly chap, white guy, said, "Oh, I'm going into London. I'm going to join the Tommy Robinson March." And he goes, and we just started chatting, the three of us, which is, I think, what you need to do, interestingly. You do need to talk to people when you feel that they're on the opposite side to you. And he said, yeah, I'm curious to know how fascist these people really are. And my brother's a bit more far right, and I'm keeping an eye on him today. He said, I don't know how the protest's going to go. The last one I went on was to Remain during Brexit, which again is flipping the idea of who you think they are on its head a little bit. And he goes, I'm worried about illegal migration, not all migration, just, it's the illegal thing. I'm going to go along. And he sort of was very upbeat and jolly. And we laughed about, the Remain thing. Did you go for a French wine and a German beer and an Italian meal? He said, yeah, we did, we joked. And actually, it was interesting because when he left, myself and the chap at the thing, we sort of gave each other a little grimace because I think the lovely man, I'm going to say he was a lovely man, even though he was going to a far-right march. In my opinion, you're going to support someone like Tommy Robinson. That makes me deeply uncomfortable. But the point is, you have to feel the pinch and still have a conversation with someone. And we both sort of grimaced a little bit, took a deep breath, and that was fine. And I posted it on Instagram because I don't want to believe that 150,000 people are out-and-out racists.
We'll leave that there. So, thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, the level of delusion.
Arrogance as well.
Yeah.
Staggering lack of self-awareness as well. Oh, I'm from here. This is mine. I don't want to be like I can't commit. Mate, what? Say that.
Well, and talking about lack of self-awareness, I want my brown boy to be safe in London.
Yeah.
I would like my white son to be safe in London.
Yeah,
Is
we
he?
all want our kids to be safe in London.
Yeah.
We want our daughters to be able to walk to school without getting molested because they have to walk past some HMO stuffed full of Eritreans who have a completely different view about what consent means.
Moreover, I don't want my kids walking down the wrong street and finding a gang of urban youths with knives, who are actually like the thing on the train in America. Like this is a real thing for us. But notice how the whole thing was just kind of disgusting. She's like, oh, I met this white guy. And me and the Sri Lankan were looking at each other like, oh my God, a white guy.
Yeah, in London.
Yeah, in London.
What's he doing in London?
How dare he?
Exactly. And actually, he was really nice, but we were like, ugh.
But he was white and he was in London.
And he was
what
going
the
to
hell
the
is
Tommy
he doing
rally.
Here? Yeah.
And so...
All right.
And it's like, yeah, well, I do think you should have conversations with him. It's like, okay, well, where's his representation on this panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why isn't he there? Why isn't someone who speaks his language on this panel to explain why people went to that rally? No one has reached out to me, by the way. Just FYI, I was on the stage at the end of it. No one has reached out and said, can you come and explain to us what this was all about and why 1 million Englishmen were out in the streets?
It's funny, isn't it? Because the BBC is supposed to have
You think
opposing. They have to. They have to have someone that represents it.
Yeah.
But I don't think on any of the coverage they've had anyone that was in attendance from that side.
I haven't seen any of it.
Well, I just don't watch any mainstream media. I haven't for maybe a decade at this point.
But they're so not interested in hearing from the other side, and it's like
but nobody who's got any sense watches this rubbish in the first place.
But it doesn't matter. The sort of liberal elite and those sort of people on the plantation they still watch it, and so they're like, well, I mean, why did this happen? It's like, yeah, well, that's a great question. And the fact that you're still in your ivory tower, not talking to anyone from the march, actually from the other side, means that this is going to keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger because it's a giant protest against the system itself.
They could have just asked Tommy Robinson.
They could. Why isn't Tommy on there?
He's been on shows before.
He's been on Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan back in the day. Why isn't he on there now? It's he's not a monster. He's not going to eat you or something. But anyway, right, yeah. So that was great. And then you had people like Wes Streeting being like, oh, well, this is, basically people in my community were afraid to go into London. So,
boo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think? What are you looking to us for sympathy? We're not.
Well, sorry. Is there suddenly a no-go zone in London? I thought no-go zones didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I thought they didn't exist anywhere.
And it's the same. Like, I remember back in the day, like 2018, when me and John went to Birmingham to interview the Muslim dads who were protesting wokeness in the schools.
Oh, yeah.
And man, we went into that area. It was a Pakistani area of Birmingham. And me and John, not being Pakistani, we were just getting stares all the way through. And John was like, bloody hell. I was like, I know, mate. And it's like, yeah, well, now you know how we feel.
Yeah.
Now you know how we feel. You have been doing this to us for years.
Well, the only difference is you were actually getting stared at, whereas if she had walked down the middle of that protest, nothing would have just been perfectly nice to her.
Nothing would have happened.
But also, what strange optics. People were afraid to go to London because it was full of white people.
Yeah. English people. Imagine the horror.
But remember, this is what's in their head, right? They see the political nature of what's happening and realize this is the English people becoming politicized. It is what we are calling Gammonzilla is on the march. And they're like, oh no, wait, something bad could happen. It's like, yeah, maybe you should be worried about
Well,
that.
they're aligning ethnically as well, right? Like that's the thing. And they can't stop that. Well, they're trying to. They're trying to downplay it and demonize people. No, you're racist, you're far right if you do that. It's like, okay, so it's fine for Pakistanis to do it. It's fine for Muslims to do it. That's absolutely fine.
Fine for the Albanians to do it on their Independence Day.
Yeah, it's fine for them. But English, no.
That's how it is.
Don't you do that.
And everyone can see that's how it is. And so it's like, right, okay, that's good, because I don't think it's going to slow down. I don't think it's going to stop. Sadiq Khan decided to come out and condemn us, obviously.
Love it.
This is a statement from the Mayor of London. I know many people, particularly from London's diverse communities, who are feeling extremely worried following the events of this weekend. Good. I don't care. Good. It's in your heads, right? If you can't accept that we have the primary claim to this country, then be afraid, because that is the case, and we are going to assert it. This is our country. We are the overwhelming majority in this country. And if you don't like it, you actually have countries you can go to. I don't have anywhere else I can go. Do you have another country you can go to, Dan?
No, I mean, if there was like Albion 2 hours flight away that I could get on and go to, I probably would have done by now.
Yeah.
But there isn't. There is only England.
This was our Albion.
Yes.
Can you go anywhere, Nate?
Unfortunately not.
Exactly.
Again, if there was.
You can't
I'd be
define
there.
yourself by another country that exists somewhere else. Sadiq Khan defines himself as a Pakistani Brit. So he can define himself by a foreign land that he could go to and claim a blood tie too. Because remember, Pakistan and all the old world, if you are Pakistani by blood, you are entitled to citizenship in the country. So that's the way it works here, actually. It's the way it works everywhere outside of America and the New World, to be honest. But he has somewhere that he can go. I don't have anywhere I can go.
The gall of him to say that attempting to hijack our flag. No, sir.
Yeah, our.
It's not your flag.
Yes.
It is our flag.
Yes.
Because it's the English flag.
I spent 20 years in London, and I remember walking down the main streets in London to find them absolutely blanketed with pride flags.
Yeah.
So which is your flag?
Yeah, or Palestine flags or whatever flags, like everything that's not a British flag. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I've been tweeting, trying to get Elon Musk's attention, because I feel like it's really, really important. Because when Sadiq Khan tweets something like this out, locks the replies, all politicians can lock replies and also block people. That has to be removed because it's undemocratic.
Grey verification ones shouldn't be able to lock
It's undemocratic. They have to remove that because it controls the narrative. Worth mentioning.
Well, funnily enough, they did that to Trump when it was still
Twitter.
He got sued. They took away his ability to block people.
Yeah, that's what it should be like for us. I'm surprised Elon Musk hasn't done it because, and any newspaper shouldn't be allowed to do it either, because it's a way to control narrative. That's all it is.
Yes. But anyway, this you can read it as it's on the screen. You can see that this is just basically a declaration of war against the United Kingdom movement and the English in general. I will not have you being a vast political voting bloc. We are going to unite to reject the far right. It's going to take a huge effort from us all. People of all races and backgrounds are willing to stand up for British values. I'm against British values, just against them. I'm against equality, I'm against inclusion, and you don't respect us, so I'm not giving you respect back. So nope, British values can go out the window, get stuffed. British values are just liberalism.
It's a British value to be intolerant. We conquered the world because of intolerance, for goodness sake. Yeah. That was our value.
Well, we're intolerant of evil. Yeah. That was what it was. It was literally, we saw something bad happen. We didn't tolerate it.
You will have civilization whether you like it or not. You'll stop burning your widows. You're going to stop doing it.
You're going to stop trading slaves.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it. And it's going to be gunboat diplomacy, like in Zanzibar, where it's the shortest war in the world because we turned up and just shelled them until they agreed to what our terms were. We're not tolerant people. We are virtuous people, though. Anyway, then you've got people like the Gaza MPs who are like, right, okay, the country we love is under siege by deadly hate.
Which one is he talking about, Gaza or the UK?
Great question. That's a great question, right? Fight back or die echoed across a London far-right rally. The biggest London far-right rally, don't forget. You don't belong in this country, get out. A Hitler-inspired mass murder plot. I haven't even heard of that. We must defeat this in our streets, ballot boxes, and wherever it tries to take root. Hate must never divide or define our nation. Now, I can't help but notice that when in 86 towns and cities across the country, hundreds of thousands of English girls were getting gang raped by Muslim rape gangs, that wasn't the country being under siege by deadly hate.
Yeah.
Can't help but notice when, say, the London Arena bomber blows things up, or all the other terrorists out, the London Bridge attack, and all the barriers of diversity and inclusion and tolerance that we have to have at our Christmas markets, that's not the country being under siege by deadly hate.
I noticed the best he can come up with is a Hitler-inspired mass murder plot. Okay, so something that didn't actually happen. So whether there actually was a plot or not, I don't know. Maybe there was like one kid on Reddit who was doing it.
I have no idea.
No idea. But it didn't actually happen. Whereas we can point to the Manchester Arena bombing and dozens and dozens of other examples.
Yeah.
Just absolutely tons. We can point to the crime statistics and be like, why are Muslims represented nearly 2-to-1 in the prison system?
Yeah, good question.
Why is that the question? Is that the country under siege? Or is it just that's what the far right are against, is it? Anyway. So then you have this by John Simpson, who's a journalist. So I had to get a screenshot because he started getting ratio to hell on it, right? He said, I too would like my country back. That calm, sensible, peaceable, tolerant, rational, stable, essentially moderate Britain, which extremists and rich American ignoramuses want to take from us. Surely these are the values we should be defending. It's like, yes, John, these were the values of Britain in 1990. What was the ethnic composition of the country in 1990, John? Spoiler alert, it was literally 95% native.
Wow.
95%.
It's so fast, the change.
Yes, it has been so fast. And that homogeneity allowed us to have calm, sensible, peaceful, tolerant, rational, stable, and moderate politics. We were allowed those when we were actually in control of our country, when it was under the rubric of our auspices. And now, John, things have changed. I literally just replied to this, like, right, I want a 95% English England. That's what you're asking for. To get that, that's what you have to accomplish.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can see why he deleted it, and Simon here is just absolutely taking him to town on this. We're not mere values, we were a people, and we are a people. So good stuff. And then you get more of this. So fear of increased racism. Let's watch Good Morning Britain propagandize what's left of their audience. Let's watch Good Morning Britain propagandize what's left of their audience.
Oh well.
That whole video was, I've recently arrived from a foreign country, now let me tell you why your country includes me and why I get to dictate its values.
Yes, if the Union Jack in particular, was supposed to represent all of these foreigners, why don't you feel safe when they're going up?
Good point.
Because you're lying, you liars.
Yep.
And you know that you don't really identify with that flag. And what I love about it is, like, we're in this Lebanese restaurant. Oh, is there a country that he could flee to if he doesn't like it here? Is there? That's all I'm hearing. You can go back to Lebanon if you're not happy with the Union Jack and the St. George's Cross. You've got somewhere to go. Well, this is the way.
The staggering lack of self-awareness for, what was this, Good Morning Britain or whatever it was, going to a Lebanese restaurant to talk about multiculturalism.
Yeah, what's
like? Are you sorry? No. Do you know your history? Are you mental?
It works so well in Lebanon.
It was a gift. It was a gift, definitely. Definitely.
For anyone who doesn't know, Lebanon really went through when their Muslim population ticked up beyond a certain point. It was just checkpoints
from Palestinian refugees. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they accepted a bunch of Palestinian refugees. This put the sort of ethnic balance of the country out of whack, ruined the political system, and Beirut was synonymous for being a war zone when I was growing up.
Yeah, when we were kids, Beirut was basically a proxy for a war zone.
Yeah.
And it used to be Paris of the East.
Yes.
So that's telling you how far it fell. So the self-awareness of Good Morning Britain to be like, but multiculturalism, Lebanese? No.
And the implication, they say, here we are sat in this Lebanese restaurant, the implication being that place is under massive threat. You notice there's no rioters in there, the windows aren't smashed, it's under the guy behind the counter is perfectly relaxed, there's nothing going on, but the implication is that this place is about to get torched down.
Yes. And also, it's kind of like, we went to this Lebanese restaurant because this is the future of Britain.
Yeah.
I don't want my country to turn into Lebanon,
Yes.
Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, more on the Good Morning Britain poll where they're just complaining that everyone's afraid and the country is under siege and it's fear everywhere as they carry on. It's like, okay, well,
You're not going to make us watch this one as well, are you?
No, I'm not going to make you watch this one as well. But it's just like the fear everywhere. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know why you're coming to me for sympathy because we've been afraid of what has happened to our country. And we've said over and over and over, could this please stop? And we've been called all sorts of names under the sun. And it's carried on against our will, against the consent of the British people. And so I've got no sympathy whatsoever. And then you've got this woman, I won't make you watch it, but you can see how far the GMB propaganda machine has fired up. Clip after clip after clip after clip. It's like, all the minorities are terrified. It's like, well, were they though? Right. Yeah. I'm not actually sure that they were all terrified.
They don't seem very terrified.
No, but this is, I think what they're trying to do is activate these minority communities. Listen, you guys need to be out on the streets now. You guys need to like fight back because you know they're going to come for you in your sleep or something. Yeah. And so she's like, this particular woman was like, these women that I was speaking to never felt so intimidated. They go out now and they're regularly harassed. There's 4 million Muslims in Britain and we are deeply worried about our safety. So, whoa, hang on. How are there 4 billion Muslims in Britain? I don't remember at any point. Go back to the 50s. Was it on the manifesto? We're going to import 4 million Muslims. Yeah. Was it in the 70s? We're going to import 4 million
the referendum
Muslims?
Either.
I don't. Yeah, we didn't have a referendum. We had one on joining and leaving the EU. But did Thatcher, was she like, yeah, right, so I'm going to import 4 million Muslims? Yep. No. Did John Major? Did Tony Blair? Did Gordon Brown? Did David Cameron and Nick Clegg? Was it on any of their manifestos that they're going to import 4 million Muslims into Britain?
We were never asked.
We were never asked. What are you doing here? Why are you here? And then go, well, we're deeply worried about our safety. And it's like, yeah, but the thing is, like, we're worried about our safety too, right? When this is the family of the Manchester Arena bombing, one of the victims has been like, well, come on, don't look back in anger. Don't blame all the Muslim communities. It's like, sorry, if this was the only time, then maybe I could agree, but come on now. Like this, the mastermind of the 7/7 bombings, the man who killed 52 people, has just been let out of jail. Yep. And the judge was like, well, I hope you do well. I wish you well.
And in this case, that was despite the police saying that this guy remains a serious threat.
Yes.
But the judge was like, no, don't care. I'm letting him out.
Yeah.
And he killed 53 people?
52 people, I think, yeah.
52 people. And it wasn't that long ago. It was less than 20 years ago.
2005.
Yeah.
But all the rhetoric surrounding these, especially this one, you wouldn't have even known it was a terror attack. Actually, if you just read, they're like, oh well, this is the anniversary of the 7/7, and then they just bring a bunch of Muslims on to talk about it, and you're like, sorry, what? Yep. I mean, how sick can you actually be?
How can you get 20 years for killing 52 people?
I don't know. He should have been executed.
Yes,
like he should have been hanged. But this is the point. So there are 4 million Muslims in Britain now. They're all deeply worried. It's like, sorry, there are 45 million English people in England, and we've all been deeply worried for decades now. Now you know how it feels is basically the takeaway from this. And I've got absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. Because, I mean, like, if the Muslim community was out being like, no, look, you should be hanging this guy. If this was in Saudi Arabia or something, they'd be hanging this guy. Why is he still alive? Yeah. I'd be a lot more sympathetic, actually. I'd be like, okay, well, at least they're right.
Yeah, I mean, let's say I was in Saudi Arabia and some British person put a bomb somewhere and murdered 52 people. I would be more than happy to go on Saudi Arabia TV and say, yeah, boil him.
Yeah, obviously. You know, why is he still here?
Yes.
You know, anyone who does anything like that deserves exactly what the state gives them. But anyway, then you've got the other side of it, which is, okay, we understand that Gammonzilla is awake. He's marching through the streets. He is a colossus. And so what are we going to do? English patriotism is on the table, and we have to deal with it somehow. And so Shabana Mahmood decided to get up in Parliament and give us this.
And yes, we are a diverse one too. You can be English with roots here that stretch back 1,000 years, but you can also be English and look like me.
No, you can't, mate. Sorry.
No, it doesn't work like that.
My ethnicity is not a skin suit. Okay, it's not.
It's literally, let me explain to you how your ethnicity includes me. It's literally that. It's like, no, you are just not English. You are a Pakistani woman. Any amount of objective fact of the matter is that you are Pakistani. That is an ethnicity. You can't change it. You cannot become English because English itself is an ethnicity. As in, we did our DNA tests and found out how English we were. You know, in Dan's case, primordially so. But the point is, you know, the ethnicity itself is derived from ancestry. It is inherited lineally. And it's only now that she's saying stuff like this because, of course, we can go back only a few years.
And I'll just quickly jump in here. We were just talking before the podcast about how the left was going off about this stuff for years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if people even wore Halloween costume that hinted at another culture, they were like, no, you can't do that.
Yep.
But apparently you can just become English because you say so.
Now she can just claim it because, actually, the English are awake all of a sudden.
Politically perfect.
And you can, exactly. And because go back a few years before all of this was happening, and this is her opinion.
You know, the people that you see holding the English flag most of the time, down my neck of the woods, will be the EDL, and they are white, and they are male, and they're bad people, and they want to divide our communities from one another.
Right, so
they're bad people, they're white, and they're male.
Yes.
Amazing.
That was her opinion of the English, right up until the point a million of them were out in the streets. And then she's like, oh no, I'm English, guys. You can be English and be Pakistani also. It's like, no, you literally define yourself from a foreign ethnic group, a foreign land, foreign people. You are not English. I will never accept you as English. But the point of all of this, though, and this is the good news, is that they are completely on the back foot. You can feel the fear and desperation pouring out of all of these attempts to try and claw back some legitimacy. Like, people can complain, oh, what does the march really do? It does this. It puts the fear of God into them. And the more afraid of us they are, the better. Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history?